Hey everyone, hope you're doing all right. Today's call was, we had a mixture of things that we actually discussed, and one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was, there's been with .loop or DocuSign and all the electronics, as far as going over paperwork, there's been a lot of things that have been missed when it comes to filling out a seller filling out the residential property disclosure completely. Typically they're missing some check boxes, or not filling it out to the fullest extent. And then whose responsibility is that as the listing agent or the buyer's agent to make sure it's filled out correctly? And when it comes to your broker and their responsibility. But I think as listing agents, because there's been this technology piece added to our business for over the last couple years, and younger home buyers and home sellers prefer the technology. There's things that are just kind of sliding and slipping through, and it brings me to this point of one of the things that I'm going to be implementing for our team is a pre-listing packet. And if you're going on a listing appointment, the idea is that you mail this pre-listing packet over to your sellers prior to you showing up. And one of those items in the pre-listing packet should be all of the listing documents. And you want to strongly encourage the potential seller, your potential client, to review every single document in there, so that way they can highlight any specific questions that they may have. And then when you get out to that listing appointment, you're able to answer those questions and go over all of the documentation there in person. And then if they want to sign and fill everything out electronically, they can. And maybe that's how you will be able to make sure all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted when it comes to having the correct paperwork filled out, as well as making sure that your clients fully understand everything that they're signing and doing in order to get their house on the market and to get it sold. And then from there, just putting in a best practice or best process for that. Maybe there's some documents in your market that need to be still signed, by a wet signature, making sure that those are in there. And before you leave that appointment, that everything's signed and filled out correctly, so that way your files are correct when you get that turned into your team or into your brokerage. So just some food for thought on that, and it's definitely a way for you to kind of curb any mistakes or having to go back and ask your client to fill this in or sign this doc or sign this initial. Hope you guys are crushing it. Put together that pre-listing packet. It's definitely going to save you a ton of time in the long run.